Greetings, viewers. Today we are going to be looking at some Hearthstone cards.
I didn't do one yesterday because I didn't want to. I kind of want to do this like every other day, just so that there's lots of cards. You know? That's just what I want to do. So I'm going to do it. Screw you guys. Alright. So the last one we talked about was Hagatha. So the first one we got to talk about is Lord Godfrey, the other Warlock legendary. We've got both Warlock legendaries and not a whole lot of others. So that's interesting. So Lord Godfrey, I'm always happy when I see another named World of Warcraft character actually appearing in Hearthstone. It always makes me smile. So when I first saw Lord Godfrey, my reaction was, holy crap, it's Lord Godfrey! Ah, crap, he's a 7-mana 4/4. I'm so tired of seeing legendaries with this weird stat line. It's so weird. What's his ability? Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all other minions. If any die, repeat this battlecry. What the? Holy crap! So, that was my initial reaction. And yeah. So basically, he's Defile, which is a 2-mana cost, except it's 1 stronger, so we'll up that to 3 mana, why not? So it's a 4-mana 4/4 and a 3-mana spell just smashed together. And usually that makes for good cards, and it's thematic. It's exactly what he does in the game. He's actually a pretty pathetic boss, except for that one time when he goes pew 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 in one direction and basically just destroys anyone except a tank that's in his way. So yeah, I like this card. It's thematic. It's true to the character. It's useful. It's a board clear for Warlock, which they don't need. So it's overkill as hell, and that's great. I love it. Yeah, Lord Godfrey. Next, the Muck Hunter. 5-cost, 5/8 neutral card with Rush and Battlecry. Summon 2/1 Mucklings for your opponent. So essentially, this card is a card that shoots itself in the foot. You see that hand crossbow? He's aiming it straight down and shooting in his foot. That's exactly what he's doing. He's certainly a more interesting version of Leroy. without any of the usefulness to him. I think this card is best probably in a recruit deck, but he's not a 4-cost. If he was a 4-cost, he would be in a druid recruit deck. But I mean, even as a 5-cost, he could still make it in a warrior recruit deck, and it actually works really well in a warrior recruit deck because warrior has a lot of whirl abilities, so the 2/1 Mucklings is not necessarily a bad thing to begin with, because you can play it, and then you can do the whirl, and then you can rush to a different thing, or, yeah. But it's otherwise kind of crap, because you don't want to be giving your opponent minions that you can't get rid of, just on your own. That was sort of Leroy's main thing, was that, yeah, he summoned 2 minions and he only had 2 health, so he was killing himself, but he did 6 damage. So the whole point of him was to play him and then rush him. This, you can't really do it with Rush because Rush can't attack face. So this has to attack a big minion instead. Or you could play it on an empty board. I don't know why your opponent has an empty board on turn 4, but turn 4 or 5. But an empty board, it summons the 2 things, and then you rush this into one of them, so they only have 1. And then they just have a 2/1, and you have a 5/6 on turn 5. Which is okay, but then they get their turn. And who knows what they're going to do on their turn. And you've given them a minion. So, yeah, I don't... There are a few ways that this can be good, but it requires help. And that usually doesn't make for good cards. Next, the Red Band Wasp. 2-cost warrior card. It's a 1/3 beast with rush, has +3 attack while damaged. So this is a counter card, basically. Turn 1, your opponent plays something. Turn 2, you play this, you kill it, and you still have something on the board. And it's like a 4/1 at that point. or a 4/2 if you're lucky. So, I mean, that's not bad. It's a good early game play. Late game, it's sort of trash. Warrior has a few, very few sort of like buffing and hand buffing capability. And you wouldn't want to put it on this, even if you did. But the possibility is there. It's a beast, but Warrior doesn't give a crap. So it's interesting. It's a good early game play, but it's definitely a one of. And if you get it in the late game, it's a dead card. Hunting Mastiff. Hunter card, 2-cost, 2/1 beast with Echo and Rush. This was the card I think everybody sort of expected and secretly hoped for. I like this card. I like this card because it's one of the cards that if you're good at the game, you're going to toss out for anything. But if you're a low-level player, and the people that I am like judging for are low-level people who are in the early game, people who are in the high ranks or low ranks, however you want to judge that. The early people, the people who don't really intend on getting far and more want to play the game for fun or want to play the game with their friends, that sort of thing. So for them, this card is great. It's so flexible. It's so useful. It's a beast, so it has beast synergy. It has echo. It has rush, so you can play a whole bunch of them with anything that has synergy with beast, anything that gives bonuses to beast, and you can just ram it into stuff. And if you're lucky, you'll still have some on board, and they're scary. If you have even 2 of these left on board, along with any sort of synergy with them, they're scary. Like, you play this with the Savannah, the Scavenging Hyena, you're buffing that Scavenging Hyena like crazy. If you're playing this with oh gosh. With any of the wolves that boost your attack, this is a 3/1, and you're running into stuff, and the ones that survive are still 3/1s. If there's so much, you can adapt these things. Oi, it's the flexibility is there for the people who want to utilize it, and the people who are going to want to utilize it are probably the lower players. So I really like this card. It is the epitome of what we think Echo and Rush should be together. And I think this is great. I think they should make more of these, actually, for like other classes as well. Like for Druid, they should make a 2-cost Echo Rush that has like 1/2 and Taunt or something. Like, just, like, continue this for, like, all the other classes. I think so. I really do. Because it's, like I said, it's a card that's going to get thrown away by the more high-level players, because the value sort of wanes once, you know, you sort of get more used to this expansion, and it is just a common, and it's not a game changer, and it's not a power card, and it gets more inefficient the more times you echo it, like all echo cards. So you know, the higher up the rank you go, the less valuable this card is. But if you're just having fun, if you're just having a good time, then this is a really, really fun idea. And I think it should be in every class. I really do. Next, the Forest Guide. Now, I've seen the cards that come after this one, and this is sort of the start of it, where I think someone over there at the Hearthstone team just decided, what if we do just weird stuff? Just weird stuff. Because this is a Druid card, 4 cost, 1/6. At the end of your turn, both players draw a card. Why? Why? I mean, on the one hand, it's a 4 cost, so you can recruit this out. So yay. But it's a 1 attack minion with 6 health. The only reason to play it is for its ability, and its ability affects both players. Why would you want your opponent to draw more cards? As a druid. As a rogue, it makes sense because you know the whole mill mechanic. As a warlock, it makes sense because you want them to kill your cards and get you low on health, so you can do some pushback and you can like waste their stuff. Even as a hunter, it sort of makes sense, so that you can make use of your secrets and your boosting and your beast boosts and stuff. But with a druid, it doesn't make any darn sense. Because druids are usually slow. Like even token druid, the fastest druid I can think of, it's on the slower side of things. Why would you want to give your opponent more tools to fight you? You don't want that. The dryad that you play, when you have the choice between giving both you and your opponent a mana crystal, and both you and your opponent drawing a card, you only choose to draw a card if you're out of cards. So, and this is at the end of, is this just at the end of your turn the first time, or every time? Because if it's every time, your only hope is that you mill your opponent by accident. Because otherwise, this card is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I kind of like it for that reason. I like it that someone is thinking outside of a box that I can sort of access. It makes me want to access that box. When someone made this card, what the hell were they thinking? I must know. I must know and analyze and make a deck out of it. So there's that, I guess. But I don't understand this card. I'm gonna move on. Next. Wanted. Rogue card. 4 cost spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If that kills it, add a coin to your hand. So basically, it's a 4 cost spell unless it kills a minion. Then it is basically a rogue Dark Bomb. Except Dark Bomb... Is Dark Bomb 2 cost or 3 cost? Either way, this spell is still way too expensive for 3 damage. Like, even if it gets a coin in your hand and you can make some, like, miracle combo stuff, it's too expensive for that. It's 4 cost. Like, even if you had 10 mana and you were getting ready to do some crazy stuff, you don't want to plaster down, 4 mana right off the bat. You don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. I mean, I guess if you had the auctioneer and you're drawing a card, like, not once but twice with this card, because you're playing the card and then you're getting the coin and then you're playing the coin and you're drawing again. Maybe. But yeah. Otherwise, I don't think this card really has a home. I don't think people will make too much use of this card. Maybe. I mean, I don't think a spell damage rogue makes any darn sense either. But I mean, it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. Rogue has a lot of spells. If they decided to make sort of a spell rogue, this card would be in it. It'd be neat. Hello. Anyway, so sorry about that. Yeah, if they made like a spell rogue, this card would be in that. But right now, I don't really see it. Next, the Scale Worm. Neutral card, 4 cost, 4/4. Hey, just like Lord Godfrey, right? No. Battle Cry, if you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and rush. Sure, let's just give everybody dragon synergy. Why not? Yeah, it's neat. I like it. Like I said, it does sort of give everybody that dragon synergy. Priest is gonna jump at this at half a minute because, you know, everybody always wants Dragon Priest to work. Especially after, like, it worked once. You know, once an idea has worked once, they really, really, really want it to work again. But, yeah, this gives everybody some dragon synergy. Especially with, like, the Cobalt Scalebane and... Excuse me. I need to take a drink, but my tea's still too hot. But yeah, so like everybody's gonna have probably at least one dragon, and if they have at least one dragon, a 5/4 with rush synergize as well, especially with the Cobalt Scalebane, which will give it more attack. So like once you've done your rush thing and it's like almost dead, if not dead, then you know make it higher attack, and hey, there you got yourself a free Leroy. So. It's interesting. In all seriousness, it's interesting, but we have to wait and see. It's a combo card. It's also a beast, which is interesting. It'd be kind of weird to make a dragon beast hunter thing. But yeah, it's just an okay card. It's probably going. It's not a bad card on its own, but it requires something that isn't asking too much. It's asking for a dragon. Heck, that weird amalgam thing that we saw earlier, that was like all the cards, that's a dragon. That's a 7 cost combo right there. That's great. That works out really well. So, hey, there you go. Next, the VEX Crow. Mage card, 4 cost, 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion. Very interesting, except Doomsayer is a 2-cost minion, isn't it? That would be unfortunate. But otherwise, that's pretty neat. Yeah. 2-cost minions are usually pretty okay. They're anywhere between 2/3, 3/1s. 2/2s usually. It can sometimes be 3/3s as well. So it's not bad. It's a little bit expensive. It's a 4 cost 3/3 that when you combo it out, you get more minions, which isn't really what you want. Like, I guess on turn 5 you could do this. And like the shield spell, you know, where you make the 2/0/2s with taunt, the mirror image, you could do that. But you just gotta wait and see. I mean, I personally really like it because it says random in the name, but it's too expensive. It really is. Combo cards don't want to be expensive. Combo cards want to be cheap, so you can combo them. Like playing this in the late game. Can you imagine on turn 10, this is all the opponent had? They played this, and then they played, like, Arcane Missiles, and then they played Arcane Barrage, and then they played, more like 1 or 2 cost minions, Frostbolt. And they're just like trying desperately to fill their board with 2 costs because they have nothing else. That's so sad. Especially if you have cards. Like if your opponent is doing this just like in a desperate play, you know that you've won. This seems like that kind of a card where it's just like, it's a little sad. it makes me a little bit sad for my opponent when they play this, I think. It's neat, don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna experiment with it just because it says random in the name. But I definitely think it's too expensive for what it does. I really do. It's sort of like the it's sort of actually a straight upgrade of that 3-cost 1/2 that summons other 1-cost minions. But that just does it at the end of your turn. It doesn't need a combo. This needs a combo, and it's more expensive. Yeah, it's a bigger body, but not by much. It's a 3/3. It's a 3/3 for 4. Really? On turn 2, there's things that can destroy this thing. So, yeah. It needs to be comboed, and even then, it's kind of sad. So, I don't think so. Next, the Blackwold Pixie. 3-cost, 3/4. Hey, we're actually getting Blackwold mentioned in the Blackwold expansion, which is called Witchwood. Hooray! So, the Blackwold Pixie. Although it looks like something out of, like, Rift or Arcade. Doesn't it? It looks like... It doesn't look like World of Warcraft. It really, really doesn't. It looks like something else entirely. Anyway, 3-cost, 3/4. Battlecry, refresh your hero power. It's neat. It's definitely neat, especially in an odd-based deck where your hero power is strengthened. So, like, you play this on turn 5, you refresh your hero power, and then you do your hero power, and that's a sweet turn 5. Although turn 5, you're playing odds, so wouldn't you have an odd cost card to play on turn 5? You'd have a 5 cost to play on turn 5. Maybe you play this on turn 6 or something, where you're playing this, you're hero powering, and you're playing a 1 cost. You could do that. Yeah, so it's not bad. It's a great odd, even sort of card. It doesn't really fit in anywhere else, because on turn 5 you have better stuff to play than a 3-cost in your hero power. Why would you want to do that, like, on purpose? And this is refresh your hero power. So actually you want to play it even later than that, because you want to do your hero power, play this hero power again. So that's actually a turn 7 thing to do. So, unless you're doing an odd even deck and your hero power is strengthened, you don't want this card. Because why would you want to do your hero power again? Unless, like, for instance, your hero power was already upgraded and reduced on cost, like the Shadow Anduin thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It definitely goes into the odd, like, mechanic, in the odd even mechanic. So if that's good, this is good. Next, I believe this is the last one. The Clockwork Automaton. 5-cost, 4/4. Double the damage and healing of your hero power. Wow! In an odd cost deck where your hero power is already upgraded, doubling it? Wow! I don't know why it's a mech. I mean, I get with the card art and the name why it's a mech, but mech synergy hasn't existed forever. That's sort of the problem with mech. Mech gets no help anymore. Ever since, like, goblins and gnomes, ever since goblins and gnomes went away, mechs have kept on popping up, but they've received no help. They're just this random thing out in the ether. It's like, hey, look, it's another one of them. Cool. When are we going to get, like, a mech-based expansion again, and we can use all these stupid mech cards? But, this is definitely good for the odd cost deck. Odd is definitely looking a lot stronger than even right now. We need some even cost synergy. Because, this ain't it. This is odd cost. So, let me run this down for you. If you are a priest, your hero power has already been upgraded by Baku, so it's a 4-cost. And then you play this, it's not 4-cost, but it heals for 4. And then it heals for 8. And then you play like a Shadow Priest card, and suddenly you're dealing 8 damage for 2, and that's nuts. That's great. Also, healing the damage and healing of your hero power. For Mage, it will do 4 damage. For Hunter, it'll deal 6 damage to face, which actually sounds good. Because dealing 3 damage with the frickin' odd cost thing is awful. The problem with that is that you have to leave this card alive, and in those particular instances, this will scare the crap out of your opponent. You have to play this on turn 7, so that you can actually get your hero power off one with it, because they're going to kill this right away in those sorts of instances. And in not those sorts of instances, it's useless and stupid, so why would you even play it? It's a 5-cost 4/4. You're relying on that ability, and that ability is going to get it killed in whatever deck you play it in, so make good use of it. And that is the last card. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do my thumbs up, middle thumbs, thumbs down. And again, I'm going to say this every time, unless people say, oh my god, we get it, stop telling me. Thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down is not talking about the meta. It's just not. I don't care about the meta. I'm not good at the meta. What I'm talking about is it on its own a good card? Will it see play? Do I like it? And that's it. That's all it means. So, starting with Lord Godfrey, a hard yes. It's great. I love it. Muck Hunter, thumbs middle, although I'm leaning on down. It has hope. But not a lot of hope. Next, Red Band Wasp. Yes! It when you want to use it, it's useful. It can become a dead card, but... Hunting Mastiff. Yes, I like the card. I think there should be more of them. Forest Guide. I'm going to say maybe. I should be saying no, but I'm saying maybe because it confuses me. And I want to know what people were thinking when they made it. I'm interested. Next, Wanted. I'm going to say no. Scaleworm. I'm going to say maybe. VEX Crow. I'm going to say no. Blackwold Pixie. I'm going to say maybe. Depends on the odd and evens. Clockwork Automaton. I'm going to say yes. Heck, even without the evens, if you play this on turn 7, it still upgrades your hero power for a turn. So, I mean, if you don't get Baku... And if you don't get the 2 odd-even cards, which, I mean, they're legendaries, it's entirely possible. Yeah, you're getting a free legendary, but there's no guarantee it's them. They haven't said that. They're saying that you're getting a free legendary. It doesn't necessarily mean you're getting Baku the Mood Eater or Greymane. You're getting a legendary. So if you don't get Baku, if you don't get Greymane, this can still sort of simulate what it would do as a common. So that's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because I definitely think it's going to see at least some play. And that's it. Goodbye, everybody.